This is going to be a good one. Have you ever looked back over your bank statements and thought, where has all my money gone? Not even from any like big purchases, but just all these little purchases that have added up. It always seems to be because of those little things that sort of like somehow find their way into your shopping basket. And then before you know it, all your money's gone. I feel like that's exactly where I've been as of late, sort of over the last year or so. I've come to the realization that I've fallen into this cycle, and it happens mostly online, but it does also happen a lot like when I'm out on the high street as well. I will come back with bags of shopping, which is really bad, but it sort of happens online where I'll sort of see something and I'll think, oh, that looks quite useful actually, or oh, it's only £10, and then before I know it, I've got another parcel arriving at the doorstep. The funny thing is, none of these purchases are necessarily bad purchases that I've been making, but I've just realised that I've been buying things because I like the idea of them and not because they're actually going to add any value to my life. So I thought we'd sit down with a cup of tea. Well, I've got water actually today, but I thought we'd sit down because if you'd seen my recent video or my life update, my Q&A, I had a procedure yesterday. Obviously this video won't be up for a little while, but I actually had my procedure yesterday. It all went well. Thanks for asking, guys. I know a few of you have been asking. It all went well, but I'm just taking it easy today, and on a lot of painkillers, but I just wanted to have a sit down chilled video today. But I thought while I'm sitting down we can have a chat about 10 things that I feel like I'm not going to be spending my money on this summer. And I just want to preface this video that I'm not saying that nobody should buy these. In fact, I actually own some of these things and absolutely love them. This video is literally about a little shift in my mindset that I've had recently about being more intentional with my spending. It's not to say that you should never buy yourself something, you should never treat yourself. This video is just going to be about how my mindset has shifted, what I've changed, what habits I've adapted to make my spending more intentional, also slowing down my purchasing and enjoying what I've already spent years buying and building up. I do think me doing Project Pan over the last year and a half has opened my eyes to this mindset shift massively. Like finding that joy in actually using up the products, rediscovering products that I completely forgot about as well. And also all of my decluttering that I've been doing and cleaning around the house and decluttering, like I just didn't realize how much stuff I already owned. When I start looking around my house, sort of at my wardrobe, my kitchen, my bathroom cupboards, even the food I buy and my seasonal decor, I've realised that I have actually, over the last few years, gotten myself into a little bit of an overconsumption rut. Instead of doing like haul videos and showing you what I'm buying this summer, I actually thought I'd take a moment, sit down and actually talk about what I'm not going to be spending my money on this summer, and also more importantly, why. The first thing I've decided not to buy this summer is makeup. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know I've been doing Project Pan for the last year and a half, and honestly, it's been such an eye-opener for me. I used to think nothing of going in Superdrug boots, buying a new lip product, buying a new eyeshadow palette, buying a new mascara, like buying whatever it was, like, and also going online as well and spending a lot of money on makeup and beauty purchases online. I used to think nothing of it because the stuff I was getting wasn't particularly expensive, so all these little purchases just didn't really seem like a lot to me. But honestly, like, Project Pan has completely shifted my mindset on how I'm going to be purchasing beauty products in the future. Because instead of constantly trying to get that dopamine hit from new purchases and having the new thing and looking for something new constantly, where Project Pan has forced me to sort of rediscover products that I've already been loving, that I already own, that are sitting in my drawer, I'm actually getting like a new excitement out of actually using, playing with, having fun with, and actually completing products. I'm actually getting more enjoyment and more contentment out of actually using and finishing these products, whereas before I felt like I was getting a kick out of sort of buying new, collecting them, using them once or twice and then just hoarding them, and I sort of like was getting this hit out of having this big collection, whereas now I'm getting a much larger kick out of actually using it and enjoying it, which I think is so important. And that's not to say I'll never buy makeup again. Of course it is still a massive passion of mine, but I do want to use what I already have mostly first. So yeah, for this summer in particular, instead of buying the new makeup, I've actually started a new sort of little little subsection of my project pan, which is my summer glow challenge. So I actually set my normal project pan aside for a moment for these summer months, and because I was feeling sort of left out with all the new beauty releases and stuff like that, I actually shopped my stash. I got all new glowy summer products that I've absolutely been loving using, I have to say, and sort of made myself a summer bundle of products to use specifically for the next couple of months in a mini project pan summer glow challenge. And yeah, I've been absolutely loving that, I have to admit. Like, it's been so much fun to have sort of what feels like a whole new bunch of products that have actually just been sort of rotated in. So yeah, highly recommend doing that if you are doing your own project pan this year. But yeah, I've just realised that the excitement of buying something new actually can wear off really quite quickly, whereas actually finishing something, rediscovering something that you owned, and actually utilising it and enjoying it is really quite satisfying. And actually, once I started thinking about makeup, it made me look at another area where I have almost the exact same habit, and that is my wardrobe. So the next thing I'm not buying this summer is a whole new summer wardrobe. Now, don't get me wrong, if I genuinely need something, of course I'm gonna buy it. This isn't me saying that I'm never gonna buy clothes again, but I've really noticed over the last couple of years that my attitude towards clothing hasn't been the best. And actually, saying that, a few months back I actually placed a Temu order for some new summer items. To be fair, it was a much more intentional shop than what I usually would go for. Now, some of the items, don't get me wrong, I've been wearing a lot. This top right here is actually a Temu top that I got last summer, and I absolutely adore it. There are some Temu buys that I absolutely adore, but half of the bits that I got in that order I actually haven't worn since receiving that order. Maybe I've worn them once, but I actually haven't worn them enough to justify actually purchasing them in the first place. And the mindset I've had is that I thought I was saving money by shopping in places like Temu and Primark. I'd see a top for £4, shorts for £6, and be like, well, I'd be silly not to buy an entire outfit for a tenner. But then I'd find that I was doing the exact same the following week, the following month, and again and again and again. And before I know it, I've actually spent an awful lot more on clothes than I needed to in the first place. Now my wardrobe is absolutely crammed full, and I'm still standing there opening it up and thinking, I've got nothing to wear. I think we've all been there, and I think it's come down to what I've realised literally in the last couple of weeks. I've had this switch go off in my head when I was thinking about my next clothing purchases, or where it's been really hot and I'm like, I actually don't have anything to wear, or I'm wearing the same outfits and my wardrobe's full, so half of it I'm not gonna wear. And I think I finally figured out that it's because I'm buying these individual cheap pieces rather than buying carefully thought out outfits. I don't think I was wasting money intentionally. I think in my head I was thinking I was being sensible because I was buying the cheaper option. But when I look back now, I can see that buying so many cheap things that are only getting worn a handful of times hasn't made me save any money whatsoever. Going forward, I've rethought out my entire buying clothes process. I'm actually going to be shopping in places that are a bit more expensive than Temu and Primark, although Temu and Primark, their prices are going up and up. So actually the jump now to high street shops such as New Look isn't that much of a difference. But I'm gonna be shopping in places like New Look, maybe Georgia, Asda, places like that, where I know the quality is gonna be better in the clothing, and I'm gonna be intentionally building outfits. So rather than buying 5 random tops because they're £6 each on Temu, I'm actually going to buy one outfit at a time, and I'm going to carefully curate it. I'm going to have like the bottoms, the top, or dress, or whatever it's going to be. I'll have the clothing items, I'll pick out either some shoes or some accessories, things like that, and actually tailor one whole outfit. And then every time I put that in my wardrobe, they're going to be sort of put together as an outfit in my wardrobe. So when I go to my wardrobe, eventually, this is going to take time, but eventually when I go to my wardrobe and I open the door, I've got, instead of having like, I've got to pick this, one of these, like I will have my outfits lined up and I can just decide which outfit I'm going to wear. And I feel like having a much more intentional wardrobe is going to be phenomenal. But yeah, what I'd love to do is slowly build up a wardrobe where everything works together, where I'll have like specifically bought outfits, but also when I'm buying future outfits, I'll buy outfits that also encompass the other pair of jeans. Or say if I've got one top, like if I buy another outfit where that can be incorporated into it as well, things like that. And like where my accessories and my shoes go with different outfits as well. My end goal with this, and I feel like I might have to bring you guys along for the journey, so let me know if this is something you'd want to see in videos, but instead of opening up my wardrobe and just feeling overwhelmed and being like I've just got too much stuff and I don't know, half of it doesn't go with each other, I'd love to just open my wardrobe and just love everything that I own in there. Like, that would be amazing. Like, that's the end goal. And that's what my wardrobe should be like. But in the last couple of years, it's just gotten out of hand. And I just need to get a grip of myself and sort that out. But yeah, I suppose this is another example of buying quality over quantity here. It's not about buying less because I don't enjoy clothes. It's just about being more intentional and buying clothes that actually add value to my wardrobe. And I think that's the main point here. But please tell me I'm not the only person that has a wardrobe bursting with clothes and still struggles to find something to wear on a daily basis. And actually, speaking of buying things because they're cheap, that brings me perfectly onto my next one, Temu. So the next thing I'm really trying not to buy this summer is random Temu orders. And I really want to stress this word random as well, because this is not me saying that I'm never going to buy from Temu again. There are definitely things that I've bought from there that I'm so happy with, and I will always buy my false nails from there. I absolutely love my Temu nails, and that is something that will probably not change for a long time until I'm sort of in a place where I'm going to want to do my own nail art and stuff again. But if I'm being completely honest with myself, I've also bought a lot of things on Temu just because they're cheap. Like, I'll be scrolling, I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, that's only 80p, and then another thing is like, oh, that's only £2.50, like, and before you know it, I've seen something else and something else and something else, and I've spent 40 quid. The funny thing is, if someone had asked me before I'd even opened the app, oh, do you want to spend £40 on Temu today? I'd probably say no. Again, it's just all of these realizations that I'm coming to, that I'm sharing with you guys, but I've realized that it's just really easy to try and justify all these little purchases individually because they're cheap, but 20 little purchases is still 20 purchases. So now, before I order anything on Temu, I'm gonna ask myself one simple question, and I think this will rule out the majority of most of my baskets most days. If I didn't see this while scrolling on Temu, would I have searched for it? Because if the answer is no, I most definitely don't need it. I've also realised that most of the time when I'm shopping on Temu, I'm not shopping because I need something. I'm shopping because I'm bored. Scrolling shopping apps, and there's quite a few now, but it's almost become entertainment, like doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels. Scrolling on Temu's almost become the same because of the pop-ups and the giveaways and the like coupon bundles that you can win when you play the little mini games. It's almost become entertainment to shop, and that's something I'm really trying to move away from, because that is not healthy. That is a toxic relationship. So if I do order from Temu again, it's going to be because I actually need something, I've searched for it intentionally, and not because I've accidentally filled my basket up during some ad breaks on the telly. And actually, one thing I've noticed from buying lots of little bits is that they don't always end up in my wardrobe. Most of the time they end up all over my house. Which brings us on to the next section. Now, this one actually made me laugh out loud when I was writing this list and actually planning this video. The next thing I'm choosing not to buy this summer is any more seasonal home decor. Now, before anyone says, but Sammy, don't you decorate your house seasonally? Every time the seasons change, you put out all your new decorations? Yes, I do. I actually love changing my home throughout the year, and I love every season having, like, in autumn I love putting out my pumpkin decorations and things. Christmas is my absolute favourite, and I've also got bits and pieces, especially at Easter for the spring. I've got loads of little bits that I love putting out around the house and just making my house feel very on season, because it just gives me joy. I absolutely love doing it. But I've reached a point now where I honestly think I've got enough. Like, I have bits for every season, Usually I would go in and buy extra bits every year, like, oh, like with Christmas decorations, every year I'll buy a couple new baubles for the tree just to add to the collection, and it feels, but I feel like I've got enough now. And it wasn't until I was changing things around from spring to summer that I went into my storage and actually realised I've got boxes and boxes of seasonal home decor now. So it's like, why am I buying more when what I already have is only getting used for a couple of months out of the year? So this summer I'm actually really looking forward to just enjoying the decorations that I've already spent years collecting. And who knows, maybe in a couple of years if something breaks or if I absolutely fall in love with something else, then I might buy it. But for now I'm just super happy with what I've already got. And I've noticed this pattern in many different areas of my life now, whether it's makeup, clothes, Temu orders, or even home decor. I always think one more thing will make it complete. But actually, I've realised I already have enough. Now, speaking of buying things because they seem like a really good idea, let's talk about something that's been really tempting me. The next thing I'm choosing not to buy this summer, and it's something really specific actually, is a Ninja Creami. And I have to admit, this one's been really tempting for me. I've been watching the videos, I've been looking up all of the recipes and stuff for it. I've imagined myself making these protein ice creams and all these healthy desserts. All of it. And do you know what? I think I would actually really like one and use it a lot as well. But another realization that I've come to recently, guys, is that just because I really want something doesn't mean that I have to buy it today. A year ago, I would have convinced myself that I needed it and like I had to get it and it was actually going to save me money. I would have given myself this whole spiel of like, it would save me money buying desserts, especially ice cream that's through the roof with prices at the minute, and I'd use it all the time and it would pay for itself, and maybe it would, right? But a year ago, I would have actually convinced myself to get it, if you know what I mean. But now it's like I don't actually need it. Like, I've got loads of ways of making desserts. I've got a freezer, I've got a blender, I've got recipes that I've been working on that I still want to try and experiment with. So rather than rushing to buy something, because I'm excited and because there's a lot of hype around all these sort of ice cream and slushy machines at the moment, and not only the Ninja ones, but also all of the sort of other brands mimicking them for like slightly cheaper, but still they're expensive machines. So rather than rushing to buy it in all the excitement and all of the hype, I'm choosing to wait. And the funny thing is, like, if I still want a Ninja Creami next summer or in 6 months time, like, I can get one. But if I completely forget about it, I've saved myself about £200. I think it's social media again, where they make us think we need to buy these things while everyone's talking about them and while this excitement's all built up. But actually, the product will still be there in 6 months. And my mindset now is, if it's genuinely gonna improve my life, then it can wait. Getting it in a couple of months' time isn't going to change that. So delaying a purchase doesn't mean saying no forever. It just means I'm giving myself the chance to decide whether I still want it once the excitement's worn off. Now, watch me buy one in October. But if I do, it's because I've thought about it for months and decided that I wanted it and not got caught up in the hype. And actually, it's not even the big purchases that always catch me out. Sometimes it's those little moments at 6 o'clock where it's boiling hot, everyone's tired, and no one wants to cook. Which brings me on to the next thing I'm gonna try not to rely on this summer: takeaways. So that is the next thing I'm trying not to spend money on this summer. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love takeaways. This definitely isn't me saying that I never want to have one again. Absolutely not. Because let's be honest, sometimes there is no better feeling than not having to cook. But I've noticed something recently with my recent takeaway purchases. It's usually because I've been caught off guard. It's been like a really hot day, especially in the heat waves that we've been having recently. The kids are tired, I'm tired, they're all hungry. I've forgotten to take something out the freezer, like, and it's just one of those days. Like, we've all been there, surely. But you know what's funny? I actually spend quite a lot of my time coming up with fakeaways and stuff for my YouTube channel. I've already made like 3 fakeaway videos now, and there are more coming really soon. So I've already done like an Indian homemade fakeaway, KFC and kebabs has been the most recent one that I posted. And I've got loads more planned. And every time I make one, I always think like, why don't I do this more often? Like, they're cheaper. My recipes are really easy to make as well. Like the kebab one one took about 20 minutes to make from start to finish, marinating chicken, everything. Like, it was brilliant. And everyone enjoys them, and they are healthier than a takeaway, and sometimes they taste a lot better as well, I can't lie. And I think making these fakeaways and things like that has shown me that I need to make the easier choice, the planned choice. And one new thing that I've been doing recently, and some people may do this all the time, but it's not a budgeting tip or anything that I hear frequently, and that is when you are meal planning for the week, if you meal plan, I highly recommend meal planning. Like, when you're food shopping and stuff, I do have some videos on my channel of like what I do and how I meal plan and how I sort of figure out what I'm getting in my grocery shopping to make sure it's always under budget. But what I've started to do is getting the weather forecast up alongside my days of the week meal plan as well, because if I know it's going to be 28, 29 degrees, 33, 34 degrees on Thursday, I know that I'm not going to want to sit over a hot hob and cook a dinner that's going to take me 45 minutes to an hour to make. There's no way. As soon as it gets to that day and it gets that dinner time, that dinner is going out the window, absolutely. So instead, I'll plan something suitable for that weather just to avoid the takeaway situation. And another thing I've changed my mind on recently, or not changed my mind on, I have always liked ready meals, don't get me wrong. I feel like my mind has removed guilt from having a few ready meals in the freezer at the ready. Because if a few quid on a ready meal in my freezer stops me from ordering a takeaway that's say 30 to 50 pounds, that's still a win. I've actually reviewed a lot of ready meals on my channel recently, and I do feel like there will be some more ready meal reviews coming soon, but I've done everything from sort of like 99p ready meals right up to sort of Waitrose and Tesco's Finest as well, and there are some really good ready meals out there. And even some of the 99p ready meals from Asda's Just Essential range, if you look at the ingredients list, a lot of people said it's processed, there's loads of E numbers in it, and they said that there was, like, if you actually look at the ingredients lists of these ready meals, they're actually using basically the same ingredients that I would use if I was cooking it from scratch anyway. Like, the actual quality of ready meals has massively increased in my opinion. Like, I think they're getting so good actually. So yeah, definitely worth looking into, guys, and definitely have a look at those ingredients because they're not as bad as you would think they are. And sometimes being realistic and realizing you're not actually going to cook that day, get some freezer ready meals at the ready is going to be cheaper than trying to be perfect, trying to make a home cooked meal and then ordering a takeaway anyway. And I would love to know what your guys' go-to meal is, whether it's the takeaway, whether it's a ready meal, whether it's something that you cook yourself. What is your go-to to cook when you are in a heat wave and it's hitting those high 20s, low 30s? What is your go-to meal to cook? Because I would love to know, and I'm always looking for inspo for my meal plans. Now, planning ahead doesn't just save me money with food, which brings me on to my bathroom cupboard. So next thing I'm trying not to buy this summer is duplicate toiletries. Now, I don't know if anyone else does this. I'll go into sort of like a Savers store, something like that, like a Home Bargain, Savers, anything like that. I'll see something on special offer, like say my favorite shower gel or something, and I think in my head I would be silly not to buy this at such a good price and buy multiple. Then a few months later, I'm opening my bathroom cupboard, realise that I've done a similar thing 20 times, and I have about 7 or 8 shower gels that are now just lined up ready to be used. And the funny thing is, I wasn't buying them because I needed them. Like, I was buying them because they were on special offer and because I didn't want to miss a bargain, right? And I've realized a bargain isn't really a bargain if you weren't gonna buy it anyway. And I suppose it's the exact same mindset as Project Pan. Like, instead of buying new constantly, it is just like actually knowing what you own, because some of us do own so much stuff we don't actually know what we have. So it's knowing what you own, realizing what you have already, enjoying that, finishing that, and then buying new. And I've noticed that there's a bit of a pattern here too. So whether it's the makeup, the clothes, the toiletries, or the seasonal decor, I'm realizing that I own more than I knew I did. And nowhere has that become more obvious of late than with the kids. So that leads me to the next thing I'm trying not to buy this summer, and that is new things for the kids when we already have so much at home. And now, before I go any further, obviously I do not mean for like birthdays, Christmases. Like, I will still spoil my kids, I think. or buying them things they genuinely need. And 100% we're having some treats this summer holidays because that's part of the fun and it's what I've been saving up my summer fun fund for. But I've realised that somewhere along the way, when the kids are getting a bit restless or something, my instant thought is to buy something new. Whether that's to buy a new toy, a new craft kit, a new computer game, or a new activity. Like, it almost feels like buying something has become my quickest solution to it. And if I'm really honest, I don't even think I realised I was doing it. It's almost become automatic. Like, I pop into the shop for something and Ava sees one of these magazines, which they are the bane of my life. Magazine aisles with a toddler cannot be done. But it's like, oh, she's like fallen in love with it in that moment, and I'm like, oh, she's so happy. Like, yeah, it's a fair few quid, because they're expensive these days. But I know it's a fair few quid, but I know she'll absolutely love it and things like that. And or I'm doing an order online and something will just pop up like an advert or something, and I'm like, oh, do you know what? They'll love one of them. Like, that'll keep them entertained. And then it's like, I think a lot of us do it without even thinking about it seriously. But again, recently with all the decluttering and everything like that, I've just realized how much stuff we have. Like, the boys, they're 10 and 13, they have had so many birthdays and Christmases, and they are the worst at like getting rid of anything or like realizing they've grown out of anything. So they've just, their stuff's just been accumulating and accumulating forever. Ava's not at that age yet where she's getting attached to things, so I have been able to sort of like clear out and declutter like her baby toys and stuff like that. I've been quite good at rotating her toys around, but still she is accumulating things like you would not believe. The one thing that has made such a big difference, and especially with Ava, I feel like I'm going to talk more about Ava in this one, but it does work with my older boys as well, but it is things like rotating toys and actually sorting things out and actually like digging things out, or like getting that box out from under the bed that's filled with stuff and actually getting them to go through it. It's like they're rediscovering new toys. It's brilliant. But where I do it with Ava, and I'll rotate her toys, so she's got her Calyx unit with her boxes, and then she's got her open baskets, and I'll sort of rotate them out, so the things that are in the open basket will go in the Calyx unit and those will come out, and her books and stuff I'll rotate. And honestly, after a new rotation, she'll be so happy playing for hours that you'd think I'd bought her something new. This is especially relevant with the boys as well, that when everything is available all the time, it almost becomes invisible. They like become so used to it. You can hear her playing now, but they become so used to it when it's just visible and in their eyeline all the time. So again, same with the boys, I've been trying to rotate things that are put onto their shelves, their Lego sets, things like that, just trying to rotate things. But I do feel like sometimes a refresh from myself does help them when they're bored, because then it's like fresh eyes and fresh things around. So yeah, I've realised that them being bored doesn't necessarily mean that they need more things, they just need a little bit of inspiration from me. Also things that don't cost any money, that still feel like a new experience. So going to the park, making dens in the living room, having movie nights in a den, having water play in the garden, all inexpensive, and honestly those are the days that my kids talk about the most. And I suppose this section sums up what this whole video is about, really. Instead of always looking for something new, it's appreciating what we already have. And you know what? I think that's really good for me as well. Because I find myself asking myself on a daily basis now, instead of what can I buy to make today fun, I'm thinking, what have we already got? And how do we make it fun? If you've got kids, I'd genuinely love to know your ideas for sort of like low cost or free activities that you do in the summer holidays. Leave them in the comments, because I think it would be lovely for us to all share and leave ideas for each other. Even if your kids are grown, what did you used to do back in the day? Because I feel like my summer holidays in the 90s and the 2000s, I feel like they were so different to right now. So the next thing I'm choosing not to buy this summer is multiples of things I already own and love. Now this one might sound a little bit strange, so let me explain. So one example is this, my Stanley cup. I absolutely love this. I use it every single day without fail. As you can hear, it keeps my drinks ice cold and keeps the ice for hours, like absolutely hours. Like, this will still have ice water in it until the end of the day if I left it. Like, I absolutely adore my Stanley cup. I cannot rate it highly enough or recommend one highly enough if you don't already own the Stanley cup, right? It is probably one of my favourite purchases of recent years. But I've also realised that just because I love something doesn't mean that I need 5 more in different colours. And again, I think it's down to social media. It's got a funny way of making us think that one isn't enough. Like, we can't just have one thing that we love and be happy with that. A new colour comes out, a limited edition gets released, a new design comes out. Like, this isn't just with Stanley Cups. I'm saying it's across many things you could apply this to. But you see somebody online with a lovely collection of something that you love, and before you know it, your mind is convincing you that you need to buy more too, because there have been some gorgeous colours coming out in Stanley Cups recently. This is just the example that I had in my head when I was planning this video. But when I really stopped and thought about it, I was like, well, this does what I need it to do. I already have this, and buying more isn't going to make the water in this one any colder. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we're not even replacing something that's worn out. It's just, we're just trying to collect more of something because we enjoy it. And I've realised I don't actually want another Stanley Cup. I don't have places to store it to start with. But I do enjoy just looking at all the lovely colours. And that's been a really interesting mindset shift for me again. I've started asking myself, can I enjoy looking at something without feeling the need to own it? Because sometimes the answer is yes. I can think something's beautiful, I can recommend it, I can even be happy for someone else that's bought it without feeling like I need another one myself. So yeah, I'm realising that admiring something and needing to own it are two completely different things. Is there something that you've ever caught yourself collecting accidentally? Or is there something you absolutely love, but you've already realised that one is enough? But yeah, all the different things that I've actually spoken about today, they've all come from the exact same place. The last thing I'm not buying this summer, it isn't actually a thing at all. It's just impulse purchases. Everything I've talked about today has something in common, and most of these purchases have happened because I've made a decision in the moment. So one habit I'm really trying to build, and I will be working on for the foreseeable future, is something that people call the 24-hour rule. If I see something, either online, in the shops, that I want to buy, I'm not going to buy it straight away. I am going to leave it. Not forever, just for 24 hours. If I still want it tomorrow, and if I feel like it's genuinely going to add value to my life, I'll probably buy it. But if I've completely forgotten about it, or if I don't want it enough to then travel back to the shop the next day, that tells me everything that I need to know. I've realised that excitement fades really quickly, but intentional purchasing, that satisfaction lasts way longer. Now, if I'd have used this rule before buying some of my Temu purchases, those baskets would have looked a lot different. If I'd have used this before buying random cheap clothes, I'd probably have a wardrobe that works a little bit better and I'd have something to wear. If I'd have used it before buying one more seasonal decoration, I'd probably have fewer storage boxes containing seasonal decor. And maybe one day I'll still buy that Ninja Creami, who knows? But if I do, it's because I've thought about it for months prior to investing hundreds of pounds in it, and not because everyone was telling me how amazing they were and everyone was buying one that week. Now guys, they were my 10 things that I'm not buying this summer. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying things. I don't think there's anything wrong with treating yourself, and I definitely don't think we should feel guilty for spending money on things that genuinely make us happy as well. But I do think that I've spent too much time looking for contentment in new purchases, when actually I've already got so many things that bring me so much joy. So this summer, instead of asking myself, what can I buy next, I'm trying to ask, what can I enjoy that's already here? So I really hope that today's video didn't come across as me saying that we should not spend money, because that's definitely not what I'm trying to say. Life is for enjoying. And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying things that genuinely add value to your life. For me personally, this is just about me becoming a little bit more intentional and buying things that I truly want, rather than buying things because I happen to see them. And also, as well as that, appreciating everything that I've spent years building, like whether that's my home, my wardrobe, my makeup collection, or simply just making memories with my family. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I do genuinely feel like this is a topic that everyone is sort of thinking about more these days. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd love it if you could smash that thumbs up button, and also subscribe if you haven't already. It'd really mean a lot to me. I've got loads more budget-friendly meals, fakeaways, realistic family life, decluttering, and intentional living content coming really soon. But yeah, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.